Good morning, dear students. Are you interested to know more about properties of elements in the periodic table? I know your answer, but it is necessary or mandatory for you all to know these properties. You know, if I what you know about ionization enthalpy of the elements? Do you want to know if elements possess energy just like us? What can happen? So, this topic will give you the answer. So, let's study about ionization enthalpy, one of the periodic property. Ionization enthalpy is also known as ionization potential or ionization energy. So, children, confused ionization enthalpy, ionization potential or ionization energy, all three are same thing. So, what it is? As you know that electrons are raised to higher energy levels by absorption of energy from the external source. If this process is continued, a stage comes when the electron goes completely out of the influence of the nucleus and the positive ion is produced. So, what ionization enthalpy is? The amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron. What it is? It is the outermost electron from an isolated gaseous atom of an element in its lower energy state. What is lower energy state? Its ground state. To produce a cation is known as ionization potential, ionization enthalpy, or ionization energy of the element. It is generally represented by capital I or IP and is measured in electron volt or kilocalories, kcal, per gram atom. So, ionization potential can be defined by the process. Let's see the process. This is a gaseous atom, isolated gaseous atom. When energy is being supplied, do you remember, children? What type of reaction is when energy is given and when energy is released by the reaction? Energy supplied, that is ionization energy. What will happen? I hope you remember the term exothermic and endothermic. So what is happening here? Exothermic it is or endothermic it is? So here you can see that electron, the outermost electron is removed, cation is formed, energy is supplied to a gaseous atom. So the process by which the element loses an electron, that is, it is ionizing. The atom is being ionized. To convert itself into a cation is called ionization. And this process is an endothermic process. Why? Since energy is supplied to effect it. Okay, this is your ionization enthalpy. Now let's talk about successive ionization potentials. As the electrons are removed in stages, one by one from an atom, in one step you cannot remove, though it is a very not a easy process. Huge amount of energy will be supplied to remove the electron, and you have to remember that one by one only we can remove the electrons. So the electrons are removed in stages one by one from an atom, and the amount of energy required to remove the first electron from a gaseous atom is called its first ionization potential. I1, I can write it I1. second ionization potential I2, third I3, and successively it will go on. So the energy required to remove the second electron from the cation is called second ionization potential. Similarly, we have third, fourth, and so on ionization potential. Thus, M is a metal in gaseous state. First ionization potential, when energy is given, it is giving converting in cation and electron is being released. Now to this M plus, now I am giving energy and that energy will be I2. We will get M2 plus. Okay, now to this M2 plus I am giving the energy that will be our third ionization potential. And what we will get? M3 plus electron. All will remain as a gaseous atom only. Okay, the values of 8 successive ionization potentials can be measured. Okay, when we move on from period 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, 0, you will see how the ionization potential is showing its trend. And these values show that that ionization potential increases in the order I1 is less than I2, I2 is less than I3, I3 is less than I4, and so on. So the successive increase in the values is due to the fact that it is relatively more difficult to remove an electron from a cation. Okay, why energy is increasing? I2, I3, I4, why these energies are increasing? Because it is becoming difficult to remove the electron from the cation and having higher positive charge than from a cation having lower positive charge or from a neutral atom. So what are the factors affecting the magnitude of ionization enthalpy and will be its periodic function? Let's see, charge on the nucleus. Charge on the nucleus, that is nuclear charge. Greater the charge on the nucleus of an atom, the more difficult it would be to remove an electron from the atom, and hence greater would be the value of ionization potential. Suppose I write the elements of the second period. Let's see the elements of the second period: lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. And the nuclear charges: lithium plus 3, beryllium plus 4, boron plus 5, carbon plus 6, nitrogen plus 7, oxygen plus 8, fluorine plus 9, neon plus 10. This is the nuclear charge. Now see the ionization potential in electron volt. For lithium 5.4, beryllium 9.3, boron 8.3, carbon 11.3, 14.5, 13.6, 17.4, 21.6. You can see that in a period from moving left to right, the ionization potential is increasing. And the increase in the magnitude of ionization potential is due to the fact that with the increase in nuclear charge, the electrostatic attraction between the outermost electron and the nucleus increases, and hence it becomes comparatively more difficult to remove an electron. Next factor is the extent to which the most loosely bound electron penetrates the cloud of electronic charge compressed by the inner electronic shells. Let's move on to for a given value of n, the degree of penetration of electrons will increase in the order. Just see only the order. In detail you will study in your higher classes. What will be the trend? S, P, D, F. That is, an average an s electron will approach the nucleus more closely than a p electron, and a p electron is more closely than d, and d is more closely than f. Thus, other factors being equal, the an s electron will be harder to remove than a p electron. A p electron will be harder to remove than the d electron, and so on. Next point is completely filled and half filled orbitals. What will happen? So according to Hund's rule, I hope you remember the Hund's rule. Atoms having half-filled or completely filled orbitals are comparatively more stable, and hence more energy is needed to remove an electron from such atoms. Okay, when we were filling the electron just by taking the help of Hund's rule, if you can remember, either we were trying to fill the orbitals either completely, and if it is not being completely filled, we were filling it, making it half filled. Why? To increase the stability. Okay, next point is shielding effect. I have discussed this effect with you all. So the shielding effect, that is screening effect of the inner electrons on the valence electrons. Just try to understand with this is your nucleus. Nucleus, positive, electrons are, electron cloud is here, and this is our valence electron. What this valence electron will feel? It will feel two type of forces: attraction from the nucleus and repulsion from the electrons which are present in the inner shells. Okay, so the combined effect of this attractive and repulsive force acting on the valence electron is that the valence electron experiences less attraction from the nucleus, and this is known as screening effect. Thus, larger the number of electrons in the inner shell, greater is the attractive force holding the valence electron to the nucleus, and consequently the lower will be the value of ionization potential. Let's move in a group and see. Okay, as we move down a group, the number of inner shells increases, and hence the ionization potential tends to decrease. Just try to understand with this example. I have chosen second group: beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. Okay, in a second group I am moving from up to down. Number of inner shells will increase in beryllium 1, magnesium 2, calcium 3, strontium 4, barium 5. And its ionization potential in electron volt is given here for beryllium 9.3, magnesium 7.6, calcium 6.1, strontium 5.7, barium 5.2. So you can see that when we are moving down a group, the ionization potential is decreasing. Okay, next factors which affect is the atomic radius and variation in a group. So with the increase in the atomic radius, the ionization potential decreases. This is because of the fact that in case of larger atoms, the attraction between the nucleus and outermost electron is less, and hence it is easier to remove an electron from a larger atom than from a smaller atom. Okay, thus on moving from top to bottom in a group, the ionization potential of the elements decreases with the increase in the atomic radii. Okay, next factor which affects is the principal quantum number n. So principal quantum number determines the location of an electron from the nucleus. Farther away the electron from the nucleus, more loosely would it be bound to it and more easy it would be to remove it. Everything is correlated. And in other words, higher the value of n, the lower will be the amount of energy required to remove the electron. That is, ionization enthalpy will be lower. If I will discuss about the applications of the concept of ionization enthalpy, we will see that it is helpful to explain the trend from metallic to non-metallic character of element from left to right in a period. Next is relative reactivity of elements. Elements having high value of ionization potentials are less reactive, that is inert gases, and while those having low values of are very reactive, that is alkali metals and alkaline earth metals. But exception will be there everywhere, children. Okay. The first ionization enthalpy of beryllium is higher than boron, nitrogen is higher than oxygen, and magnesium is higher than aluminium, and phosphorus is higher than sulfur. How it can be explained? Actually, in beryllium and magnesium, the outermost s orbitals are completely filled, and in nitrogen and phosphorus the outermost p orbitals are half filled. So these are more stable configuration, hence their ionization enthalpies are expected high.